Hope you had the over. Of course you did. It was only 73.5. USC and Colorado combined 89. Is anyone surprised? Trojans hang on 48-41. Welcome to the Voice of College Football. Best discussion, debate, and analysis because of your participation, of course. Please leave your comments down below. All right, let's pick this one up because we have said this many times since Colorado emerged those first two games to show us basically what kind of team that they're going to be here in 2023. And we all had an idea of the remarkable job Deion Sanders has done putting this team together with 68 transfer players, with 20 true freshmen coming into the program, 88 new players playing together for the first time. That Colorado had its strengths and weaknesses, and this is the kind of team that they would be. That they would be a wild card in the Pac-12 in this way. I said this many times, again, after the Nebraska game. The Colorado was going to be the kind of team that when they didn't have it, when it wasn't quite there, they're a pitch and catch kind of team. They rely on the offense. The playmakers have to be making plays. The quarterback's got to be on to a certain extent. Yes, it's a game of blocking and tackling, but they minimize that as much as possible. So when they don't have it, they're going to get rolled by the best teams in the Pac-12. Case in point, last week at Oregon, we saw it 35-0 at half, complete demolition. All right, but then I also said when they're on, when they have it together, and maybe the top-level team in the Pac-12 that they're playing that week does not have it together, that they are going to scare someone and possibly pull off a major upset in the Pac-12. Case example, this week at home in Boulder. So the Buffs get off the deck, both in bouncing back from the Oregon debacle, but also get off the deck in this one, down 34-7 at one point to make it a bit of a game. Was USC ever seriously challenged? No, but it got a bit nervous there. No Zachariah Branch for USC in this game. Joel Klatt had made the comment that many people have after they've seen this guy play and make moves in the open field. The only player in college football this season to have a kickoff return touchdown and a punt return touchdown, that he's the most slippery, most dangerous, most quick twitch player in college football, did not play today. USC 5 for 5 on opening drive touchdowns, including in this one, 6 plays, 75 yards. Marshawn Lloyd, he might be the guy that people forget about in terms of national evaluation of USC in the explosive offense. Yes, the bells and whistles are amazing. Caleb Williams is the best quarterback in college football. But Marshawn Lloyd is a guy that they can rely on and probably should have more in this game. He scores the opening touchdown. It was a thing of beauty. He was stuffed in the backfield. The Colorado defensive line blew up the play, but Marshawn Lloyd found a way, and he skirted to the other side of the field, scored the touchdown, 7-zip USC. USC's opening drive on defense, they had 2 tackles for loss. Mason Cobb, he could be a key to this stretch drive for USC as well. He has been banged up, not able to play. The transfer portal addition coming in from Oklahoma State, who's been an exceptional player in the Big 12. He showed up in this one, had a batted ball, had 13 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and a big tackle for loss, and a big hit on the first series. Caleb Williams missed Dorian Singer. He's been trying to get some extensive playing time in this crowded wide receiver room, and Dorian Singer was a star at Arizona last season. Broke free and had a huge opening deep, and Caleb Williams just missed him. It would have been a touchdown. Then on the very next play, on a 3rd and 10, bad snap, high snap. Caleb Williams didn't have a chance. USC maintained the football, but had to punt. And so the second drive basically wasn't the Colorado defense. It was the USC offense with 2 misses. Caleb Williams, a miss in the open field, and the bad snap on 3rd and 10. Bear Alexander, we saw his presence in this game. Didn't have a tackle, doesn't register it on the stat sheet, but he's emerging as a top defensive tackle in college football. He did give Colorado a first down, though, on an offsides penalty that extended the drive for the Buffs, but at that point did not cost USC. Colorado had an 18-play drive, but USC kept everything in front of them, and the Buffs missed the field goal. Mason Cobb on that particular series had a batted ball in which, if you watched his playmaking ability, his ability to read the quarterback's eyes and be an athlete, be a smart athlete and an athletic football player, he redshirted Sanders. He couldn't get to him and timed the leap and batted the ball down, and the receiver was wide open. Great play by Mason Cobb in that one. Caleb Williams had all day to throw in this particular play, and nobody was open, and he skirted around, and we talk about this all the time in regards to his sixth sense ability to know when to escape the pocket, when to stay in the pocket, when to take off and run, but usually he just buys himself more time, and he did on this throw, and found Taj Washington down the field. A lot of credit to Caleb Williams and the gun that he has throwing across his body, but at the same time, Taj Washington plucked that ball out of the air. It was a really good hands catch. 71-yard touchdown, 14-0 USC. Let's also consider that for as well as Colorado started to play in the second half, and we'll get to that on defense, in the secondary, no Travis Hunter, maybe the best athlete in college football. No Shiloh Sanders, who's probably he's been the second best defensive back for Colorado leading into this game. So missing their top two defensive players definitely in the secondary. Shedeur Sanders with the touchdown pass to finally get the Buffs on the scoreboard to Jimmy Horn. The one USC safety pressed the line. Bryson Shaw was no match for Horn. Couldn't keep up with him. And 21-7, and the Buffs finally on the board. Marshawn Lloyd is a monster. He's got great feet, but he also fights for extra yardage. Tough to bring down. USC driving on the next series when Amarian Cooper came off the right edge, and not off the blind side, off the right edge to Caleb Williams, but Caleb Williams had his sights downfield to the left side, didn't see Cooper, and was just blown up on the play for a sack, held onto the football. Credit Caleb Williams there, but at this point, the Buffs starting to play some better defense. Eric Gentry, I believe it was Eric Gentry and not the tight end that had the blocked punt on Mark Vassett, who, for whatever reason, took way too long. I don't know, guess he was waiting for his coverage and thought USC was pulling up and wasn't threatening a block, but he took about 5 steps. He was rolling right, and the punt was blocked by, I believe, again, Gentry. And then, boom, that set up the touchdown play. I love watching Caleb Williams, the athlete, get out of the pocket, but also when he stands in the pocket, or any tremendous quarterback that has a laser, when he pushes off the back foot and throws a laser beam, this time to Mario Williams, who USC fans are waiting to emerge. Really good season coming in from Oklahoma last season, and he's a guy that we knew was going to follow Caleb Williams from Oklahoma to USC. Nice season last year, getting pushed down the depth chart coming into this game, but a good play for him on the seam route, 27-7. And Williams with 3 catches for 53 yards and that score. Bad snap on the PAT, 27-7. Also, the Brendan Rice touchdown. Brendan Rice having a tremendous season for USC, of course. 5 catches, 81 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Rice. The one score that he had when he was lined up to the left, you really got to see Lincoln Riley's ability to scheme, because he used Marshawn Lloyd to draw the defense away from Rice. Rice slips out of the slot position, scores the touchdown, 34-7 USC, and it was over, right? The USC pass rush took hold in the second and third quarters and played really good football at that point. On the other side, though, this is where the Buffs backfield, minus Hunter, minus Sanders, started to emerge. The 5-star Cormani McClain, we've heard all sorts of stories about his issues in focusing and doing the right thing and being on time and doing all those things as a true freshman. But again, the 5-star asserted himself with a pass breakup on Brendan Rice. Lincoln Riley, though, then took Rice and moved him to the other side of the field and called the same play, the slant route on Amari Cooper, and it was USC 41-14 on that play. And then here we go. It started to get fun because not only did the Buffs make a bit of a comeback, but some new players emerged. Amari Miller had his first career catch for 65 yards. It was a thing of beauty. Then he came back a little bit later with a one-handed catch. The first one, his first career reception. Then he makes the one-handed catch while his other hand's being tied down, pass interference. This is the 51st rated wide receiver coming out of high school football last year, number 15 rated player in the state of Louisiana, and they've been waiting for him, thinking that he could be a player. Well, he showed himself that, hey, coach, I am ready to go. I'm ready to be a playmaker on this team. He had the 2-point conversion, which was a tremendous catch in the back of the end zone. However, the toe hit the white line, and that was called back 48-27 after the Michael Harrison touchdown. Talk about another player to add to Hankerson and Horn and the other threats on the field. Dalen Edwards out of the backfield. Michael Harrison has been playing better and been more of a factor in this Colorado offense in recent weeks. He scored a touchdown that made it 48-27 after the tremendous Omarion Miller catch. Then Caleb Williams threw his first interception, and this really started to move things in Colorado's direction. Cameron Silman Craig with the pick. Great ball skills by these Colorado receivers. You would think that maybe their head coach was maybe a great defensive back in his day with tremendous ball skills. I don't know. I don't know if there's a connection there, possibly. Shadur Sanders finished 30 for 45, 371, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick, but it was the Buffs rushing attack. I don't know if this says more about the Colorado rushing attack or the USC rush defense against a Colorado offensive line and running game. Not talking about the backs, but the ability to create movement, a push, and holes and seams for the running backs. We've not seen that out of the Buffs. They could certainly not run the ball against Oregon, but against this USC team, 45 carries, 193. Doesn't bode well for the Trojans down the road against better rushing teams. Take away the 2 sacks, and Colorado ran for over 200 yards on the ground. But USC hangs on, 48-41. Again, I hope you had the over 73.5. USC does survive to go to 5-0 for the second consecutive season. They go to Notre Dame in 2 weeks after a trip to Arizona. So the Wildcats waiting for USC, for Colorado trying to get to that 6th win to get bowl eligible. They're now 3-2. The next 2 games are very winnable for Colorado. In fact, they should win these games. They go to Arizona State, who showed up against USC last week, but other than that, the Sun Devils have been putrid, dead, awful. And then we've got a Colorado game against Stanford, so they should show up for the back half of their schedule at 5-2. Colorado, USC, heck of a game. USC under control, not down to the wire, but fun and exciting as we might have expected. Your thoughts down below about the Trojans and the Buffs right here at the Voice of College Football.